Alright, Joe. One of the things that you run into, especially with places like this where they're outdoor locations and you got a lot of heat and you can't count on air conditioning, is you're going to get some amps hot. And this is probably one of the most common and one of the better solutions that you see everywhere. Musicians not so much, but the house systems damn near everywhere, they're generally taking these little laptop coolers, and if USB power is available they'll use it, and if not, well, there are other ways, but usually USB power is available. And that's just one little cooling idea. Now for out here, let's walk out here to the other house. I've got this place long line like I would an airport, just so you know. And what I mean by that is I'm running line level between platforms or between points in the platform. And then I'm shooting power out of each platform, and each one is segmented to where we have complete control. So for cooling here, now the Onkyo doesn't get very hot. He's just got breathing above him. But what we're eventually going to do, I've got to make all these wires new, because these are just temporary. These are ugly, nasty. They're instrument cables and speaker cables that we had laying around just to get everything hooked up and make sure everything was working and functional. But now, cooling up here is a little bit trickier because this Peavy's got the heat sink on the back, but we've got a crown with fans. Oh, those fans are going to blow up and up. Yeah, they're going to blow down a little bit too, and they're going to cool off that big ass heat sink on the back of that Peavy sufficiently for the little temperatures that we've got. Now, down here with this Alesis, it's not online right now. Its speakers aren't even flown yet. In fact, its speakers are in the other room. I have to keep everything off of that heatsink because that'll melt through the coating on most wires if it's really cooking and warm. Oh, another thing with these Alesis and anything Crown, don't move them when they're hot. They like to crack transformers. But the Alesis, I have to keep everything off the sides, and what we're going to do is the same fan from down here. We'll just put a little triangle back here and make sure it vents out and blows. You only need a really slow current. You don't need fast moving fans. You don't need noise. You just need one 6 or 8 inch fan underneath there blowing up, and let it just, by convection, it'll keep blowing up. What device is saying no device? Oh, because it's on analog and I'm not sending in any signal. I'm shooting a video real quick.
Oh, okay. Just making sure, buddy.
Yeah. No, you can flip it back over to Bluetooth and it'll hold on Bluetooth for a while. No, it's gone to sleep on its own. So if I hit mode, I could wake it up and kick it into Bluetooth. But I'm right back onto analog. Auxiliary.
Analogs, you got boot?
Yeah, man. I just had coffee. Okay, and now continuing with the long line principle, I forgot where the fuck I was. Oh yeah, we were talking about cooling. Now back here, cooling isn't such a problem because that Laney has a huge heatsink on the back of it. Beautiful. And the music sys, every 3-4 months, you just automatically grab a set of fans and change the fans in the damn thing. That's all you can do for those amps. They are beautiful amps. Every one that I've ever had pass through my hands, which is a couple of hundred, it was always the fans that were causing their overheat problems. Fresh fans, and I generally put in a little bit better than the Chinese crap that they put in. I'll at least buy the good Japanese ones with the ball bearings and stuff. And that solves the problem with those. And I'll stay with a quiet fan and put a resistor in. and dial it back down to where it's quiet. I'll go with a fan that's got a couple more CFM flow to it, or, you know, because you can't get anything thicker in there. You can, but don't. And the extra power that the fresh fans draw is not enough to even mess with the amp. Well, that, and I run them so low anyway. It's barely getting any drive. My gains are way the hell down. Focusrite for that guy. And now that's another thing about cooling these, is your rack equipment doesn't need so much cooling, but it does need a little bit. And again, this is an outdoor environment, and you're going to hit high 80s, 90 degrees just ambient temperature without, you know, all that, you know, heat index crap and stuff, because I don't really know that that applies to electronics. I think that only applies to the human body. But anyway, and we've got speakers up under there. Okay, and I guess that covers cooling. Now, as far as your hum and eliminating all of that going everywhere, there's a couple of ways to do that, and nothing I've done as far as cooling is causing any hum. Oh yeah, on the cooling your rack gear, the reason don't have those two separated, normally I'd have like an inch of separation between those, between the Motu and the Focusrite. And the reason that I don't is because, quite simply, when these doors are open and those doors are open, they've got a beautiful breeze going through here. And even when they're not, they've got, you know, these ceiling fans actually create a little flow going past there. And I really don't know how to describe that. I mean, I know how to describe the importance of cooling. If you don't like your stuff cooked, well, make sure it stays cooled off. And placement, a lot of times, is a lot more effective than having to have some noisy fan aimed at it or something like that. And as I've shown you, your fans don't have to be noisy, and they don't have to be directly on the amps. You don't really need that much flow. If you do, you're doing something horribly wrong. You only need a few CFM. 20 CFM really blowing over a heat sink on an amp is a lot, because a lot of these amps don't even sound good until they're halfway warm, and a lot of amps only sound good when they're still cold and crispy. I mean, like anything EAR, right? Okay, I'm gonna give up on this video, y'all, and I hope you got the idea. If you didn't, well, I tried. We'll holler at y'all fuckers and fall cats later.